Guys, Sandy here, and today I am scrapbooking with my homemade kit. I have this photo of me and my friends when we were at a scrapbooking retreat. We won a super fun challenge, so we won a paper pack. So let's see what I can do. So I had a lot of fun creating this layout, and I think some of the fun from creating this layout came from the memory of the photo. So we had a scrapbooking retreat with the Secret Not Secret Kid Club, and we had challenges and games the entire time. Now, this was a combination challenge game, create a scrapbook layout, where each one of us in our group had to perform some sort of scrapbooking related task. So we had multiple groups, and our group was smart. So our group followed the rules and did everything that you were supposed to, but we didn't. We did it creatively so that we could win. People were trying to make beautiful layouts, and the point of the challenge wasn't to make a beautiful layout. The point of the challenge was to get the scrappy related tasks done the quickest. Like we had to stitch around a letter. I believe it was a letter. And people are doing these beautiful stitches, and I'm like, big, wide stitches. Let's just do this and get it done. So yeah, we definitely used brains over beauty for the scrapbooking, and it just was so much fun. So I got this cut file from the Creative Cuts Club, and so I'm not exactly sure where it came from, you guys. I don't have that information. But I decided to go ahead and just not back it with a whole bunch of different patterns. Originally, I thought I was going to back it in a whole bunch of different patterns and colors, but I decided to go a completely different way with it. Now, I decided to do this pink and almost red polka dot for everything that was geometric, and then I went ahead and used this pink paper that has kind of like hash mark lines on it, and then it's library cards on the back, and that is from Chamel's field trip. And like, did anybody realize you could use field trip for something like soft and pretty? Did we? But anyway, this worked out great, I think. So I'm just fussy cutting, and I am using a larger scissors for fussy cutting. I've seen fussy cutting comments and questions and stuff pop up on the internet lately about which scissors you should buy, and everybody's recommending these really tiny little scissors, and really if they aren't comfortable in your hand, it's going to be no good, you guys. It is going to be no good whatsoever. So make sure that your scissors are comfortable in your hand. You don't have a problem opening and closing them, and you're just doing all the fun things. Now I am using Nuvo Deluxe adhesive for my glue. It comes out thinly and it dries matte and clear, so I am not worried about anything that kind of like peeks out. So here I am. I've gone ahead and put that pink backing paper on the heart, and I'm just using my pen blade to cut out the little bits that aren't really part of the flower. So like it's like the peekaboo parts that aren't part of the flower, and you would just see it in the background. Now I don't know if it's this flower or the next flower, but I do accidentally cut my paper a little too short, and I have this ever so slight little red peekaboo gap where one of the flower petals are. And if you're just looking at this page and looking at it, you might not see it. I see it, my eye goes to it every single time I look at the layout, but I'm not doing anything with it. I'm not even going to cover it up. I'm just going to leave it. And that's my choice. My scrapbook pages are not perfect. They are rarely ever perfect. There's usually something a little funky with them, and I am okay with that. These are definitely handmade pages, and if something looks a little funny, I'm okay. So I'm just going to trim around the little edges because there are some places where the paper is sticking out a lot underneath of the white bit of the cut file, and I don't want you to see that. You do get to see the top of my head. There it is. My hair is getting like ridiculously long, guys, like ridiculously long. It hasn't been this long in a very long time. I mean, it was so long that a couple weeks ago I cut it when I was cutting in my trimmer. So yeah, the hair is getting long. I think I have these little tiny clips that I use to pull back like the top front portion of my hair, but I think I'm going to have to start investing in something to keep the hair back while I'm creating, because it is getting in the way. I glued it down to something yesterday. I trimmed it in my trimmer a couple weeks ago. I'm just like, we don't want to go on, and we don't want to see what else could be done, because, you know, it's a little scary. I mean, nothing can be worse than cutting your hair off in your trimmer. I do cut out a couple tags. I have this plaid paper that has paper airplanes on the back of it. And then I also have this khaki colored tag. And I put a hole in the plaid tag because I was going to put twine on it. And I'm looking at the layout while I'm doing this voiceover, and I'm realizing I never even did the twine. Like, I just completely forgot to tie it on before I took my layout outside to do photographs of it. So while I'm doing this voiceover, I'm cutting some floss, and we're gonna add 2 little bows. So the final photos will not have the bow on them, but you'll see the bows on the layout share when I do it at the end of the month. Because, you know, stuff happens. You just don't realize what you're doing. So I am going to go ahead and put my cut file down on the paper. Now, this background paper is from a company called Moda Scrap, and they put out absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous wood grain papers, and I bought them and love them. And this is one of those papers, and it's got a great, it's like a whitewashed wood grain. It kind of reminds me of my kitchen cabinets in Maryland. I actually sanded down our kitchen cabinets and did this whitewashed effect on them, and loved them. Absolutely loved them. Okay, one bow is down. Now we're going to put down the other bow. Now, these little pearly buttons on here are real buttons. I am actually using real buttons on my layout. It is a very rare thing when I put buttons on my layouts. I have a whole bin of them, but even when buttons were in the height of things, I didn't particularly like them a whole lot. And especially now, buttons are definitely not my thing. I am going to put in some pops of black, and that's just because I felt like this layout needed a little bit of something else. Like, it needed a little bit of a darker color, it needed a little bit of contrast, and the black is definitely, ooh, that bow's a little large. We're gonna pull that off. And I lost my train of thought because I got distracted by the bow size. I needed that dark pop of color, and I decided that black would be the color to do that with. So I'm just arranging these little tags right here, and while I'm talking to you guys, I'm getting the last bit of the second tag bow put together and popped on there. Now, I did go through my Tim Holtz word phrases here, and I picked out a few words. I picked out creativity takes courage. We are fearless, independent, and original. Be original and never give up. And I picked those phrases because I thought that they were completely appropriate with the story behind the photo. So I was super happy to use those. And I'm just going to arrange them a little, and put the way that I think. I'm kind of like spreading the pops of black on the page. I didn't want them all to be in one kind of spot. I wanted them to be, you wanted them to be around and not just stuck somewhere. So now I am just going to push the little bows down that I'm doing. Oh, they're popping off the page and don't want to stay on. I've pulled out the Teresa Collins little letter book, and I am spelling out just the year, which is 2019. I'm not even using a true number 1. I'm using an I, and I don't have a problem using that. They look very similar. You probably wouldn't have even noticed if I didn't say a word, but there it is. I am having it overlap on the little plaid label that I put down here in the corner, and that is just because for this layout, I really did try to follow kind of like the rule of 3, having 3 areas of plaid, 3 areas of pops of black, and I did that because there are a lot of triangles in the cut file. So I was like, ooh, there's already a lot of threes, bangles and such things, so I might as well keep going. And I pulled out these enamel shapes from Cocoa Vanilla Studio, and also these ones from Fancy Pants, and I'm just popping some of the shapes around the page. So I've got hearts, and I've also got these little dots, and I'm just putting them around the little word phrase stickers, just to add a little pop of color and a little bit of a different kind of texture on the page. Now these little gold foam stickers are from Rosie Studio, and I was going to use it as the title. Ultimately, I decided to go with something else, but that's okay. Like, you can totally do whatever you want. I do add some of these gold hearts just because I felt like I wanted a little bit more gold on the page. I had the sparkly photo mat with the gold glittery diagonal line, but I just felt like it needed a little bit more. I really like the color can't even speak. I really like the color combos I got going on here. I just like it. I'm just happy with it. I feel like it pops really well. There's still a good amount of elegance to the page, even though there are some, pops. There's soft colors, dark colors, gold. I just really enjoy it. So I am going to figure out what to write on this page. Now these stickers are from, they're a little bit older. They're from the Maggie Holmes Carousel collection, and I remember that because I loved these stickers when they came out. I mean, loved them. I'm running out of letters and vowels, so I end up spelling out gals instead of girls or ladies or anything. And then I'm going to pull out that Teresa Collins sticker book again, and I'm going to spell out love these. So the title is going to be Love These Gals. And as I was saying earlier, the bows are now in the tags. I don't know why, it just didn't even click to me that I needed to put the bows in the tags. Like, it just didn't even register in my mind until I sat down with the layout to do the voiceover. So weird. Anyway, that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to ring the bell if you want to get notifications when I post a video. Hit subscribe if you want to get that notification. I'm still going strong on my daily videos for a year, so I will see you guys again real soon for another video.